Gold versus stocks versus real estate. What's gonna make you richer in 2026, and where should you park your dollars today, guys? That's the question that we're gonna be answering, and I'm really excited about this video, guys, because I went back, I did the math, I looked at the data. I went from 1980 to today, 2026. Which of these three asset classes perform the best? We're gonna talk all that, and I'm gonna reveal if you put $10,000 into each of these three asset classes, how much you would have in 2026 dollars, guys. I'm so excited. Thank you all for tuning in. Welcome back to Dividends Indoors. For those of you new here, welcome. My name is Joe. I've been investing for over 7 years, primarily in stocks and in real estate. We love dividend stocks on this channel. We love cash flowing real estate, but we're also gonna talk about gold today because gold has been on an absolute tear. Precious metals like silver and gold have been absolutely roaring. So we're gonna talk about those today. Let's start off with gold. We have to understand the historical performance first, and then we're gonna get into the numbers. So historically, from 1980 to 2026, gold has appreciated at about 4.8%. I'll use green for gold. So this is gonna be our gold bar. This is gonna be our gold line here, and 4.8% from 1980. And next, I'm gonna pull out our red here for unlevered real estate, right? And it's important that I put that caveat in there for unlevered because we will talk about the component of leverage later. But unlevered real estate, we'll use our red here. It's appreciated at about 4.4%. So just under that gold line. I'll just put real estate, RE for real estate. And next, we're gonna talk about stocks. And stocks have actually been the #1 performer since 1980. We're gonna look at the S&P 500 here, guys. And since 1980, the S&P 500 has appreciated at about 12% per year. So our blue line here will be stocks. And this is gonna be the S&P 500. So real estate, unlevered real estate, we're looking at about 4.4% per year. Gold is about 4.8% per year. And stocks, S&P 500, that's gonna be about 12% per year, guys. And as you can see, stocks have absolutely blown the water out of these two other asset classes, right? So you might be thinking, I should just put all of my money in stocks, but not so fast, guys, because I'm gonna talk more about that leverage component later when it comes to real estate. But this is stocks, this is gold, and this is real estate. And as you can see with the stocks, you're gaining what's known as compounding interest, right? With gold and unlevered real estate, you never really hit that compound interest mark, but with stocks, you absolutely do. So now I'd like to talk about if you put $10,000 into each of these asset classes, how much you would end up with in today's dollars. And if you know the answer, totally fine, but I went back, I looked at the math. With stocks, if you put 1980, $10,000 to 2026 in the S&P 500, you'd have about 1.9 million with an M. It's a lot of money, right? And you never added, you never sold along the way, you just held. You'd have almost $2 million with the S&P 500. With gold, you'd have about $80,000. And with real estate, you have about $70,000, give or take 1,000 here or there. But S&P 500, clear winner, right? There's no argument there. 2 million, gold, you'd have about 80,000, and real estate, you'd have about 70,000, guys. And something else I'd like to note, I think this is an important topic to bring up whenever you talk about asset classes. If you would have just held that 10,000 underneath your bed, it would have just withered away, because let's look at, like, this would be US dollars. If we went down here, I mean, this would be just straight down, because you're losing to inflation every single year. So for example, $10,000 in 1980 is about $40,000 today in 2026. So if you're not investing, if you don't own appreciating assets, which we talk about all the time on this channel, you're losing out to inflation. So your crazy uncle who keeps all of his money under his mattress, guys, you might want to tell him to start investing. But I thought it was really important to cover these. Now let's talk about the component of leverage, because I hear you real estate folks, I love real estate. I hear you guys saying, talk about leverage. Leverage is a key component in this, and you're absolutely right. Because if we would have took that $10,000, right, and we would have used that as a down payment on a rental property, let's say we bought a property for about $80,000, guys, put $10,000 down, that same property today, it would be paid off, right? Let's say you got a 30-year mortgage, it would have been paid off in 2010, and then cash flowing, if it was a rental or if it was your primary home, it'd be worth about $550,000. And that's gonna be hard to draw here, but I will attempt to just draw a line. So leverage real estate, I'll draw it in blue, that turned into about $550,000. So not as much as the stocks, obviously, but if it's a rental property, then it also spitting off cash flow, whereas the S&P 500, you won't generate as much in dividends, right? If, let's say hypothetically, the S&P has a dividend yield of about 1%. If that was the case, you'd be getting about 1% of this, so what is that, $20,000 per year? Well, with the real estate, you'd be getting from a paid off rental property, that's $550,000. I mean, you could be looking at $4,000, $5,000 per month in rent. That kicks the butt of the stocks, but you end up with more when you look at the stocks, guys. I think the bottom line is this: when you hear anyone who's talking about gold versus stocks versus real estate, all three performed well. They all appreciated. Gold was our loser when it came to, except unlevered real estate, gold was our loser, but we did end up with a significant amount of money if we invested in stocks and leveraged real estate, guys. I want to encourage each of you to invest more money. That's my goal. I want everyone to invest more money, because you see how powerful it is if you invest in assets and you pay them off over time, guys. And I encourage everyone to do this, right? Let's say you want to buy the Tesla, or you want to buy a Lamborghini, the dream car. If you can do that through your assets are generating income every month, right? Let's say you have 2 paid off rental properties. You can use that cash flow to fund your lifestyle, and then you get the dream car. So fund the assets while you're young, and then when you're older in your 30s or 40s, you can then use that cash flow to fund your lifestyle, live the life of your dreams, guys, because that's what it's all about. That is my journey, guys. I'm 26 years old right now. I know it's crazy to say, but I'm keeping track of my monthly passive income from stocks, from real estate on every thumbnail of each YouTube video, guys. And I have a crazy goal, but I think I'm gonna get there. By the time I'm 40 years old, I wanna generate at least $10,000 per month in pure passive income from real estate, from stocks. I get real estate. I know it's not fully passive, but if you have a property manager, it's a little bit more passive. Regardless, that's my goal, guys. I hope you'll follow along on this journey. Here's just a quick demo. I thought it'd be pretty cool for you guys to see the numbers. Stocks obviously won, but we love real estate too. You also get tax benefits with real estate. I know the real estate camp probably wants me to mention that too. So many advantages, guys. The bottom line is though, buy assets and avoid liabilities. If you can purchase assets every single month and you can pay down your liabilities, your car loans, your student loans, you're gonna come out ahead. I love talking about this. I'm fired up right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Thank you so much. I'm out.